I've been riding on a daydream. Why so dreary, Ohio? Why? Hey guys, thanks for checking out RV Daydream. And as you can see, the weather's pretty crappy. This has something to do with that Patricia and when it went across the states and up the states, and I think it's over in New York right now. But man, we had a lot of high wind, and the good thing about that is the trees are bare now. There's not much for leaves on most of our trees. Today I'm going to be working on my two trucks, and I wanted to do work, and initially I thought I was going to do work on the underside of the new truck. I've got a fuel filter that came in from Amazon. It's a Motorcraft. Look up on my other channel to see why you should go with a name brand Motorcraft on a Ford. It has to do with the removal. Good stuff. And also I got a new differential cover for the new Ford. I got that from Amazon. Actually, it's a used, and I've discussed that before about buying used products. They're actually listed as used, but they're new and they're at a reduced rate. So I got a really nice differential cover with a gasket for a lot less than I could get it locally. Of course, I'm not doing any of those two things because that's underneath the truck, and right now everything's wet out there. So I'm going to focus my attention to the inside of the trucks. I'm going to pull out the stereo that I have in the F-150. I'm then going to go to my new truck. I'm going to pull out the stock stereo and I'm going to swap them. Also, then I've got to look at changing my brake control over. I need to take the nice Takancha brake controller that I have out of my F-150 and put it in this truck. Now here's the bad part. I'm not sure why whoever owned this in the past that put the brake controller in would have taken and cut the factory plug off of the truck that's underneath the dash, that's the tow option, and hardwired it. So now I have to hardwire my Takancha controller in, and I'm not happy about that at all because I bought the harness to plug into the factory tow connector. The work that I got to do isn't crazy and it's not hard, but I'll stay a little bit close with this camera so you can see what I'm doing. Again, just to touch base and give you an update what's happening. Now, on a more personal note, I have to take my truck and drive it over to Canton next week. It's not really anything that I'm excited to do. For the first time in many years, I'm going to go to the doctors. So I'm going to go over to the VA. I'm going to have them check me out because I haven't had a physical forever. I haven't had a complete physical since I went in the Army in the 80s. And as far as going to the doctor, I just don't go to the doctor. I had to go to the emergency room whenever we were in a traffic accident, and I had to do some rehab on my neck. Prior to that, I went to the emergency room once for vertigo, for an inner ear thing. And prior to that, I went to an emergency room for a food poisoning thing that I had. I've only been to the doctor about 3 times since the late 90s. I've been a pretty healthy person. Now, that's not to say I haven't had my ailments. I hurt my back at one point out here in the garage, and I laid up in bed for a couple of weeks. But I had limited mobility, and I should have went to the emergency room because I think I slipped a disc or something crazy like that, because I have no idea what happened, but it was really bad. But I'm back to normal from that, so it wasn't all bad. As far as my health issues I have now, it's something a little bit more serious, I fear, so I've got to go in and have them check me out and tell me everything that's wrong with me, which the first thing I need to do is lose some weight, which as soon as I had this health problem show up last week, I started eating a little bit healthier, and I've lost about 10 pounds, so I started feeling better because I was up at my maximum weight. It's not crazy. I mean, just to think that maybe about 9 years ago I weighed 175 pounds because I went on a pretty decent diet. It's just funny that I'm this size now. It's almost like I don't consider myself heavy because it's like I'm looking at a person with a fat suit on. Unfortunately, that fat suit, I'm having a hard time taking it off. So it's probably about time that I start eating healthier and watching my health. So time for a physical. So let me go ahead and start on this, and you can follow along with me. Now, yesterday I did some work already. I removed the spring that was for my CB antenna. Of course, I'll leave this for the next owner because it's already been mounted. There's a cable that's running down through, underneath here, and up in the dash and over that way. But I will be removing the CB. The tachometer stays. The Garmin mount is going to come off, and one of the reasons for that is I've got a new Garmin coming. I don't know if you guys seen my other video on my other channel, but I bought a Garmin Nuvi 3597 LMTHD. Whew. All that means is lifetime maps. It has traffic and it has HD traffic. It's kind of nice because that HD traffic, it's free and it updates every 30 seconds. We used it whenever we went to Myrtle Beach, and it told me that there was a delay up ahead because of congestion or construction or an accident. I'm not even sure what it was. But the nice thing about it, it told me to just go ahead and stay on the route because the reroute was going to be longer than if I just stayed and go through the delay. And sure enough, it worked out great. I was surprised. The other thing is it has a lot of really nice features as far as real time, like a picture, I should say, a real view. It's a photo kind of thing. Whenever you're getting off your exit, it shows you what the exit looks like. Also lane assist, so it tells you what lane to be in when you come up to your exit. You might have 5 lanes that are available, and maybe 3 of the lanes are exits because there's actually an interchange there. It tells you what lane to get in. I mean, there's just a lot of nice things about it. Now, this new GPS I got, I'll be doing a review on that, and I'll show it to you guys. It'll be delivered here tomorrow. It's brand new, and it's a step up from what I just had. Now, the nice thing about buying brand new GPSs that are high-end and in demand, this GPS that I had, I paid $3.99 for it, like I said, and I've had it now for 3 years. The nice thing about it is I keep all my boxes, I keep all my labels, I keep all the packaging, I keep everything in pristine condition, and I kept the GPS in pristine condition. So, Amazon has a trade-in program. I went ahead and traded it in. They gave me $180 for it on a gift card. That's exceptional. I mean, I've used it for 3 years and it's been great. I trade it in, I get $180 to go buy another one, and in this case I bought another Garmin. So let's go ahead and jump in this truck. Let me start pulling stuff out. Again, the GPS mount, like I said, of course my radar detector, one of my camera mounts, and of course the stereo. That's what I'm going to work on. The console's going to stay, then all this stuff back here, and then the main thing that I got to get later is whenever I take this cap off, which everything's kind of cloudy right now, so you're probably not seeing it so well. My winch is back there, and the bed rug, that's all going to come out, and at that point the cap will come off. So you guys quit talking to me and let me get to work. I'll come back later. We're into a new day. We ran into a bunch of rain last night, or wind more than anything else. There was rain, but it's much colder today. I don't know what the temperature is, but if it's 50, it's probably right at 50, and the wind's blowing. Let me show you what I've been doing. All right, so I got a lot of the stuff out of the truck here. The lower panel is out of the 97 F250. Reason being was I already had some work that was done in this area for power ports and stuff like that. It was a hole that was cut up into it. I mean, there's a lot of things. I removed my warning stickers. Of course, the rear view camera is going to go to the new owner. I took out my CB, and of course the antenna is going to stay here because I already routed it all the way around and through, and like I said, up to here. So that'll go to the new owner. All they got to do then is buy an antenna, screw it in, put a CB in, and tune it, and they'll be done. I also put this factory stereo in here. I've got to pull that off the windshield. Let me do that right now. How hard can it be? Boom! That was all our ride-along videos. That's where you guys were sitting. Yeah, I'm coming along. This is getting really close. And then if we come over here, you can see I'm still working on this. Now, I've been doing a lot of work in here. On my Ford, that's going to be confusing. On my F150, I had this brake plug that was a factory tow option that was underneath the dash. And so did this vehicle, but the guy cut it off and just wired in his brake controller like that. Again, I mentioned that before. I don't know why anybody would do that. Nonetheless, he did. So I fixed it. Now I've got this Reese Pilot, which that's a pretty good one as far as I know. I'm going to have to get rid of that. I'll put it on Craigslist. Now all I got to do is put this back into this area here, and you can see what I mean. This power port's in there. It's being held with some Velcro, and I cut that notch out, and that's where the brake controller goes in, and then of course the cord for that power port goes in there. That way I have some access to some ports that come on with the ignition. Of course, the stereo's in here. This has been a little bit more of a chore than I thought, but it's kind of nice. The sun's coming out, I'm feeling a little bit warmer, and I'm getting stuff done. And ultimately, it's because the old truck behind me there, it's going to go bye-bye. I'm so sad. Go ahead and finish this out, and I'll come back whenever I got more. Alright guys, well, here she is running. She's out in the yard for sale. I got to go take her for a ride to get some of this water off, and then I got to redo the for sale writing that I had on the side. This will be the last little jaunt probably that we have going on this. Oh, the seat's wet, so I cleaned the interior. Probably been the cleanest it's been in a while now, which is kind of funny. Alright, let me set up this camera so we can get a good shot here. There her ass is going. Camera's not set up very good, but hopefully it's good enough. One thing I'm going to miss on this truck compared to the new truck is the ride. This thing does ride a lot smoother than that F250 because the suspension is obviously lighter. It is definitely a smoother ride. I mean, as far as gas mileage goes, it does pretty good on gas, and we've taken it to the Outer Banks and we go on longer trips. Just pulling our pop-up camper, it was fine, and we were very comfortable. There was no fatigue from bouncing around or anything like that. I'm sure this F250 that we have, that one's going to be a little bit different. It's probably going to be much more of a jarring ride overall, but I noticed on the highway it doesn't do too bad. We're going to have to get some new shocks on that new truck, but yeah, other than the cracked windshield on this one, and the blower motor only works on high, I need to get a resistor, which isn't very expensive. It's just I didn't do it. And I don't know, maybe one other small thing. Oh, it needs an alignment. It pulls to the left because I replaced the radius arm. Other than those three things, this truck really don't need anything. I mean, everything is tuned up, souped up, fixed up. I mean, it's got good tires on it. It's got Michelins. I mean, it's just overall really, really good. It's just, this is it. We're to the point of needing that bigger truck. So goodbye to this one. So one last blast. And 75. Yeah, the poor old truck is just needing a new family for it to help out. So we're pretty much finished with the trucks, and I'll show you what I mean. Pretty much all the crap that was in my F150, the arm wrestler, which I love. It's like a gel thing for your elbow. If I can find those, I'll put the link in the video, but I'm not exactly sure where I got it. They're kind of hard to find. Rags, the flashlight, which is also security since it's a MacLeod. I've got the microphone mounted up top like I said I wanted to. Of course, my garage door openers. I got my warning decals for the camper, so I know in a glance if I forget. Sometimes my numbers get a little bungled. And the brake controller's all set up. And this GPS is brand new. I will be doing a review on that in a little bit. I want to get some more time with it so I can show you all the details, but so far pretty awesome. It's got a camera that's built into it, a front camera that shoots in 1080p. Let's go take a look at the other truck. See all the Velcro that's in there. There's Velcro on the tailgate. Of course, the bed was silver because this truck was in an accident and I replaced the bed some time ago. The CB, but I cleaned the interior. The seats are definitely more clean than they were before. It smells really nice in here. It smells like that carpet cleaner. So it's all stripped out. Stock radio. Of course, the backup camera and the tachometer stays. And then underneath the hood is relatively cleaned. I cleaned that up too. So I've got it for sale on Craigslist. And hopefully somebody will want to make this theirs. And like I mentioned before, somebody's going to get a nice truck whenever they get that truck. Just a lot of work done on it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, here's my cap and the bed rug. It's hanging up in the air. You can see how it's ribbed underneath to make it real comfortable to kneel on whenever it's in the bed of a truck. It's really cool. This will be the third truck that it's in, but I don't want to put it in the truck until I got the cap on, even though it is waterproof and all that other good stuff. I just don't want to expose it to the weather yet. But yeah, I rigged this up with some straps wrapped around the wood. I don't know if you can see it. It's awful dark in here. Let me try to position the camera maybe this way. Yeah, straps there. And then I did the same thing. I drilled this wood and ran some straps through the wood and then ran that across. So, and then just used my my hold downs for the mopeds. That's what's holding it in place. It was nice, you know. I just lifted this up with my back and put the wood across the top of the bed rails. They're just 6-foot boards, so they sit across the top of the bed rail on the truck, perfect. And then went ahead and had the straps already fastened, and then just went ahead and made the hooks and just lifted slightly in each corner and lifted it up, and it's up out of the way. Now Heidi doesn't have a place to park her car. I don't think her car will fit underneath there. I was thinking about actually moving my F250 in here, setting it down on the F250, and then moving it back, getting all this stuff out of the way that you see currently, moving all that stuff over here on this side of the garage for temporary, and then moving these straps back to these rafters back here instead of that rafter up there. And that'll allow me to lift it up and it'd be out of the way, and Heidi can then pull her car in, definitely, because it'll just be the hood that she has to get underneath instead of the entire thing. But I have a lot of work that I need to do. You can see I've got this old ratty janky mower here that needs to be taken care of, and then just housekeeping. I have a lot of stuff to do. I mean, this is a disaster. And then I've got some stuff here and tools here, and here's some things that I need to put in the truck. The high fire box, the coil, and my CB, but I need a new antenna for the CB since I'm leaving it on the old truck. So I've got a lot of stuff that I need to be doing. Doesn't mean I'm doing it today. You know, it's one of those things, you know, in Northeast Ohio, anything at this point that I think that I might be able to do indoors or inside the garage whenever the weather's really crappy, I leave that for when the weather's really crappy. When the weather's really nice, I try to do everything that I want to do outdoors. Now, the stuff that I want to do underneath the truck, like the transmission fluid, the rear end fluid, not so much the oil change, but since that's underneath, sure, that too. All that stuff I'd like to do while the weather's nice, because I've got more room out in the driveway, and as long as it's sunny and hot and dry, I like doing it out there. I want to definitely make sure that the stuff that I need to do up in the engine compartment, that is saved for the winter. The other big thing that I have to tackle, and I think I might be tackling it just because of the price that's involved, is possibly painting this myself. Understandably, the paint shops want a decent amount of money to paint this cap. I mean, they do have a lot of time involved. They have to do a lot of sanding and a lot of prepping, and of course the painting. The thing is they want to do it on a very good level, like any body shop should. That's good body shops, and that's because they're putting their name on it. So the body shops want to charge an arm and a leg because they're doing really good work. My thing is, I need to find somebody that just wants to do the work and not really care so much how it looks, just make sure that the paint matches. Well, that's me in a nutshell. So I'm going to have to do all the work, I think, and paint it myself. Now here's where my biggest obstacle is: trying to find somebody to mix the paint, because I have to take the truck, because the truck, the F-250, has been repainted at some point, and the paint isn't exactly a factory color. It's close, but it's not exact. So I need to find somebody that will be able to take a sample of the truck and then mix up paint that will work on fiberglass, which I guess is an acrylic enamel or a urethane. I'm not sure. I mean, it's something that's a one-step process. That way I'm not shooting a bunch of coats of clear after the fact, because I didn't do that with my truck, and I've been really happy with my crappy paint job I did right out here in the driveway. So I think I need to do that with this cap, because the difference between maybe $150 and $450, I mean, I'll spend the time and go ahead and paint this myself. So that's my update, and the trucks are pretty much accounted for at this point, and I might do a video whenever the F-150 finally rolls out of here with a new owner. We'll have to see about that. And again, I'll be doing a video with a review of some kind on this new GPS, which is kind of cool. I appreciate you guys watching, and as always, I hope to see you out there. Bye.